Hey, everybody. Hope everyone is having a wonderful day. As always, pop into the chat. Please do say hi and where you are tuning in from. I'm just going to make sure that all of the technology is up. As you come on live, please do pop into the chat, say hi and where you're tuning in from, or hashtag live, hashtag replay. If you are popping in on the replay, please tag some people, share this video, and please don't forget to like, love, support, whatever emoji you would like to use to let me know that you resonated with this. Hey, Ashley, good to see you jumping on. And again, don't forget to go. Iwa, good to see you jumping on as well. Don't forget, hey, Jamie, head over to my LinkedIn profile after this is done. Hit the follow button to follow me and my content, but also ring my notification bell to stay on top of all the information that I provide every day of the week. Hey, Jeff, good to see you jumping on. And so we got some California in the house. We got a lot of California. We got Northern Illinois. We got Canada. And a belated happy Thanksgiving, Iwa. I know you guys celebrated last weekend. And Wendy coming in from Northern Virginia. Klinger, what's up, buddy? Good to see you jumping on. And I know this is a side topic, but send that trade over so we can get the ball rolling on that. And, it's been fun this season already. BBB, brother. And again, we got Indiana. It's okay, brother. Love hearing from you too. Miss you, and give my best to the family. So what we're going to be talking about today, and again, for those that are jumping on or on the replay, Nancy and I, a week from Monday, October 24th, we're doing a 90-minute content creation workshop. It's completely free. All you have to do is drop in the comments below, I do, and we will send you that registration link. We have close to 250 people already registered, which is unbelievable. And it's different from other content creation workshops that we've done. Typically, we've done them in either 3 or 5 days. What we're doing this time is we're doing a 90-minute power workshop. It's going to be almost like a co-working session where we're going to teach you all about content buckets, pillar content, which we're going to use video as our example, and then creating micro pieces of content, repurposing that information across multiple channels. So if you would like to register, it's free. Just drop an I do. Everyone gets a workbook. It's live and recorded. So we're doing 90 minutes Monday the 24th, and then we're doing a 60-minute live Q&A session with myself and Nancy on Tuesday the 25th. So again, if you want to streamline your content creation process, you want to understand your content buckets, how to create pillar content, and to repurpose that, just drop an I do in the comments below, and we will get you registered. Now, again, if you come on live, hi and where you're tuning in from, or hashtag live, hashtag replay if you are popping in on the replay. And again, don't forget to like, love, support, tag some people, share this video, and don't forget to follow me on LinkedIn and ring my LinkedIn notification bell so you stay on top of all of the content that I provide. Now, we're going to be talking about, I would say, 3 very, very important things. And hey, Jessica, good to see you jumping on. I will definitely send that out. So oh, awesome. And Ashley said, so amazing. Some of my team is coming. Wonderful. The more, the merrier. We would love for as many people to attend as possible. So I entitled today's training, the 3 things that you should never, ever do on LinkedIn. And some of these have been personal experiences of myself, but also personal experiences from Nancy. And Nancy actually shared one of these with me last night. And I resonated with it because I was noticing that too. And I actually had something just like what she shared with me last night happen this morning. So there's 3 specific things that I'm going to be covering with all of you today. And I want you all to be aware of it. I want you to be up to date on it. But I also want to make sure that you don't make any mistakes, because with LinkedIn, they've definitely been cracking down in a good way. They've been cracking down on what we can and can't do on LinkedIn. And for good reason. They want to protect the platform. They want to make sure that people are using it the right way. And I'm sure all of you that are on here now live and on the replay, you've definitely run into some people that are not using it the right way. They're definitely violating some of the user agreement. So I also want to show you guys the user agreement, and it's in plain sight for everyone to see on LinkedIn. And I want you to all be aware of what people shouldn't be doing that they are doing and roping other people into it. So what I want you to do now is type a Y or a yes in the chat box, or an N or a no. So yes, if you are familiar with the LinkedIn user agreement, or N or no if you are not familiar with the LinkedIn user agreement. Because again, a lot of people didn't even know that LinkedIn has a user agreement. Now, some of them that, people like myself that teach and train on the platform, I'm not licensed by LinkedIn. I use it for business purposes and created a flow that I educate and teach others on. So of course I'm going to abide by the user agreement. Again, it's I want people to understand what you can and can't do. So Jessica says, no, I'm not familiar with it. The other Jessica says, no, I'm not. Jeff says yes. Ashley says no. Okay, good. This, you are going to find this very, very valuable because one, you're going to find it valuable. Two, it may save your experience here on LinkedIn. There's a lot of people that have got their accounts restricted, blocked, and deleted because they didn't even realize that they were going against the user agreement. And Kirsten says, yes, she is familiar. Okay. So I'm going to go over that, but the three things that you should never, ever do. Never, ever do. And this happened actually to myself today and to Nancy yesterday. So you never, ever want to email your connections on LinkedIn directly without their permission. So let me say that again. Never, ever send a personal email to your first connections without their permission. So I got an email this morning from someone. It came right to my business email, my email address that I have for LinkedIn. And I knew that it was someone that was trying to prospect me, or they were going again against the user agreement because they were emailing me without my permission. And we've seen this happen. So just to kind of rewind, what you used to be able to do on LinkedIn, for those of you that didn't know this, GDPR regulations is basically the consumer's rights to receive or not receive emails from an individual or a company. And Jamie said, she just said that happened to her as well. Yeah. So back in the day, I would say maybe 3 or 4 years ago, maybe even longer, you used to be able to download a CSV file of all of your LinkedIn connections, your first connections, with emails. And Jessica says, I get this from people who think it's a dating site. Yes, this is definitely not Match.com. So what people were doing before is they were downloading their email contacts, uploading them into their email campaign, whether it's MailChimp or Constant Contact or whatever they're using. And they would add them to their email list and they would just start email blasting them without their permission. And people were actually getting sued because they were violating GDPR regulations. Someone has to personally take a step to get onto someone else's email list in a compliant way. And when it's done in a non-compliant way, you're violating GDPR regulations and you actually are putting yourself in a position where you can be sued by that consumer or individual. So when LinkedIn started to catch wind of this, they actually still allow us to download a CSV file of our contacts, but we can't download the emails, which is the proper step. You should not be able to download your first connections' email addresses and then import them into some sort of CRM or email campaign system to then start email blasting all of those contacts without their permission. So if that is clear and that makes sense to everyone so far, just drop a Y or a yes in the chat box. Again, if you're coming on late, please do say hi and where you're tuning in from, or hashtag live, hashtag replay. If you are coming in on the replay, please tag some people that you know could benefit from this. Share this video onto your personal page or company page for those that could benefit. But don't forget to like, love, support, whatever emoji you would like to use. And don't forget to follow me on LinkedIn and ring my notification bell. And if you would like to attend our free content creation 90-minute masterclass with a 60-minute Q&A the next day, it is October 24th and October 25th. Just drop an I do in the comments below, and we will get you all registered. So Ashley says yes. Kirsten says yes. Jeff says yes. Okay. So just want to be clear. So when that was taken away, rightfully so by LinkedIn, when LinkedIn removed the ability to download our contacts and the email addresses attached, what people started to do is literally they were hiring, and still are, they are hiring VAs. And Jessica, I will get you that registration link. So what people are doing now is they are hiring VAs that are logging into their account, going through each one of their connections, copying their email addresses and sending personal emails to that person's personal email that is on file on their LinkedIn account. And again, this happened to me today. And how I know is because they mentioned, I saw this post on LinkedIn, or I saw your profile on LinkedIn. And what they're doing is they're going to my profile, they're copying my email, and they're sending me an email without my permission. Now, what does this do? Well, number one, I 100% report each of those people as spam. So I will never, ever get an email from them ever again. And if they're using a CRM and a business email, if they get too many people reporting their mail as spam, it could actually shut their account down. So I recommend, if you are getting an unwarranted email from someone that you don't know, and you know they're a connection on LinkedIn, block them on your email and report it as spam. The second thing I'm doing is I'm going on to my LinkedIn profile, going to my connections, and removing that person as a connection so I can never connect with them ever again. Why? They're not interested in becoming a connection of mine. They're just interested in throwing me on their email list so they can try to sell me stuff that I don't even need because they don't even know me or my business. And Jamie asks, will they know that you reported it as spam? No, they will not know. But the CRM company that they're using, or whatever software they're using, keeps track of how many people are reporting their emails as spam. And if you reach a specific threshold with whatever CRM software the person is using, it can restrict that account. And yes, so only connections. So if you are a first connection of someone on LinkedIn, they can see all your personal information. So they can see what your birthday is. They can see your email address, all that information, which means they can go and copy it and then throw it in their CRM. Now, there is a workaround. So if you go into your privacy settings on LinkedIn, you can actually choose to not have your personal information shared with anyone on LinkedIn. So if someone was to try to become a first connection of yours and they do that, and then they try to go get your email address, it's going to be invisible to them. So if you don't want any of that personal information even shared to your first connections, with the possibility that they may try to email you unwarrantedly through your personal email that's listed on your profile, then I would suggest to go into your privacy settings on LinkedIn and turn off the ability for people to see your personal information. So if that makes sense, drop a Y or a yes in the comments below. So again, I just want to make everybody aware that you don't want to do that. Number one, if you're doing that, stop doing that. And number two, if you don't want that to even be a remote possibility of happening, turn the privacy setting off where none of your personal information is able to be shown. Now, for me, I have all my information out there because I do want the right people connecting with me and seeing my information. But if you're getting a lot of that junk stuff, then you can just remove it. Now, the second thing that I want to go over with you, type a number 1 in the chat box if you have seen either ads or posts from individuals or companies that make the promise that they can show you how to generate hundreds of leads a month on LinkedIn. So type a number 1 in the chat box if you have seen or experienced yourself individuals or companies that make the promise that you will generate hundreds of leads a month for your business. Now, what I can tell you, and Kirsten says yes. Yeah, I have as well. So for any of you, David's the perfect person to ask because, and Jeff as well, they just attended, and I think Ashley too, they just attended a LinkedIn workshop that we did. So, and Jamie, has been a client of mine as well. So for those that have attended or worked with myself or Nancy, whether it's in our workshops or our programs, what is the goal? What is the ultimate goal? How many calls are you looking to book every week on LinkedIn? So if you can remember this, I know David will probably get this right away. He was on the ball during our workshop. Type in the chat box, what is the goal number? What is the goal number of how many lead calls that you want to have booked on your calendar every single week? And it's a very, very modest and doable number. And thank you, Ashley. I'm glad you enjoyed the workshop. So if you know that answer, type it in the chat box. If you don't know, there it is. David got it. I knew he would. 5. The number of lead calls per week from a realistic expectation. And there's Jessica. She typed it in as well. Awesome. 5 calls per week, which means 1 call per day, 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, 20 calls per month. And here's the one thing that I'll tell you. The one thing that I'll tell you is this. If you achieve 1 call, if you achieve 1 call a day, and you do that Monday through Friday, 5 calls a week, 20 calls a month, a 20% success rate, 80% failure rate on those qualified leads that have booked calls, you'll close 4 new people a month into whatever you're offering. Now, do you want to know why it's considered a scam when marketing companies and individuals are telling you they can generate hundreds of leads a month for you? Do you want to know why? Because it's impossible. Do you want to know why it's impossible? It's impossible because you're only allowed to send 100 connection requests a week on LinkedIn. I'll repeat that. You are only allowed to send 100 connection requests a week on LinkedIn. So if you knew that, drop a Y or a yes in the chat box. If you did not know that, type an N or a no. Now, and actually, David just put it there. He said LinkedIn limits 100%. So if you knew that you can only send 100 connection requests a week, drop a Y or a yes. If you didn't know, type an N or a no. And I know all my clients and students will get this right away. So Jamie obviously knew this. Yes. If you end up going over 100 connection requests a week, LinkedIn will actually send you a note saying, "Hey, you've achieved your, you've hit your max of connection requests sent. You have to wait till next week." They will actually restrict your account for 24 hours of sending more. If you do it a second time, they'll restrict your account for a week. If you do it a third time, they restrict your account for a month. If you do it a fourth time, you actually get a lifetime restriction of ever sending connection requests ever again. So if you think about this, right? If you're sending a max of 100 connection requests a week, max, normal, and I'm just doing the math with all of you guys right now. A normal percentage of acceptance rate of 100 connection requests sent, a normal acceptance rate of those new connections is between 25 to 35%. So of the 100 connection requests that you send, average of 25 to 35% of them will accept, which means on the high end, you'll have 35 new connections a week. So if you're with me so far, just drop a Y or a yes in the chat box. I'm just trying to break down the math for you guys so you can see the impossibility that it actually is for these companies and these individuals that are saying these statements that are completely false and a flat out lie and scam. Now, if you are sending 100 connection requests a week, which is your limit, and on the high end, 35% are accepting, means you have 35 new connections that week. If you compound that over a month, that's 140 new connections. Now, what these companies and individuals are saying to you is, look, I just got you 135 new leads. Wrong. A new connection. And Selena just said it right here. She's had 39 new connections in the past week. That is right spot on average. Oh, I love that. Kirsten says people lie, numbers don't. 100%. 100%. So people, marketing companies and individuals are falsely telling you that a new connection is a lead. It's not. A new connection is a new connection. It's not a lead. A lead is someone that responds to a message that you send and they say, yes, I'd like to book a call. And then they book a call on your calendar. That is a lead. Not someone accepting your connection request. I'm tired of these companies and these individuals telling entrepreneurs and business owners, oh, I can generate hundreds of leads for you every single week. That is false. It's a lie. It's BS. It's not possible. The most connections you can send in a month is 400. And again, if you're even getting 40% acceptance rate, 40%. That's still 160 connections. So you're telling me out of the 160 connection requests and the messages that you're sending to all those people, that 100 people are saying, yes, I'd like to talk? No. You know why? Because there's another thing that you can't do. You can't message too many people in the same day. If you message too many people in a given time frame and window, LinkedIn will stop letting your messages go through until you wait till the next day. So if you shouldn't be messaging 40 people a day. And Jessica just says, quality is better than quantity. So I don't want any of you falling for these really, really poor marketing tactics that people are putting out there saying that they can help you generate hundreds of qualified and quality leads on LinkedIn every single week and month. It's false. It can't be done. It can't be done. The numbers are there. Numbers don't lie. If you're only allowed to send 100 connection requests, not everyone is accepting. At the most, you'll get a 35 to 40% acceptance rate, which means you have 160 new connections to message. You may not be able to message all of them in 1 month. That's a lot of messages to send out. A lead on LinkedIn is someone who accepts your connection, responds to a message that you send them where they want to talk, and they agree to booking a call on your calendar. That is a lead. So if everybody is clear on that, just drop a Y or a yes in the chat box. And now, each and every one of you, I want you to be fully aware and present to those types of scams that are out there. I want you to be fully aware of knowing what to look out for when you're promised X, Y, and Z on LinkedIn, especially when it comes to generating leads. An accepted connection is not a lead. It's an accepted connection. A lead is an accepted connection that responds to a message that you send them and agrees to a phone call, and it populates on your calendar. That, my friends, is a lead. Now, the third and final thing that you should never, ever do is hire one of these companies to connect and message for you. So this is where the LinkedIn user agreement comes into play. There are three things that I wanted to show you with the user agreement. So these are taken, and I'll show you the LinkedIn user agreement right now, and then I'll show you the ones that you need to pay attention to. The ones that you need to pay attention to, let me just bring this up really quickly. So the LinkedIn user agreement, okay, literally it's on LinkedIn. This was just updated this year. If you scroll down to the table of contents, you're going to see number 8 is do's and don'ts. So this is a whole page that tells you what you can and can't do on LinkedIn. Okay? So if you just literally, if you Google LinkedIn user agreement, it will pop up and you can go check it out. But I pulled out 3 specific things that you need to know. This is per the LinkedIn user agreement. You are not allowed to create a false identity on LinkedIn, misrepresent your identity, create a member's profile for anyone other than yourself, a real person, or use or attempt to use another's account. Which means there are people that are hiring companies to log into their account to connect and message for them, like a VA. You can't do that. If you are doing that, you are running the risk of getting your account permanently terminated forever on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a networking platform. It's where business can be passed back and forth. You shouldn't be outsourcing your networking abilities. You should not be outsourcing yourself. There are absolutely aspects of your business that you should outsource, but connecting and messaging and creating business relationships with people on LinkedIn is one that should not. The second thing that you can't do is develop, support, or use software, devices, scripts, robots, or any other means of processes, including crawlers, browser plugins, and add-ons, or any technology to scrape the services of LinkedIn, which means you can't have a marketing company's product connecting and messaging for you. If you do that, that can get you kicked off of LinkedIn as well. And coupled with that is the third big thing, is you can't use bots or other automated methods to access LinkedIn services, add or download contacts, or send or redirect messages. You can't. These are taken right from the user agreement. And most of the companies out there that say, oh, we follow the user agreement of LinkedIn, that is a lie. If they were following the user agreement of LinkedIn, they wouldn't even be doing what they're doing, because you can't develop software that connects and messages for people. This is what boggles my mind. And I still don't understand how hard it is to block out 20 or 30 minutes a day to make organic connections with people, to send genuine messages, to provide some value-added content, and to build business relationships. How hard is that? Why should that be outsourced? And these companies are robbing money from people that should be doing it themselves. So if that makes sense, drop a Y or a yes in the chat box. So the overarching message for all of you today is be present on LinkedIn. Use it yourself. Build relationships. Give more value than anything else. Under promise and over deliver. And Jessica says, plus anyone who can't isn't someone I want to do business with in the first place. 110%, if that was even a real number. If someone wants to take themselves out of the equation, they want to outsource themselves, that is someone that I don't want to do business with in the first place. I am right there with Jessica. So again, if you would like to join and sign up for our free 90-minute workshop on creating content for social media on October 24th, it's from 8 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. EDT, live and recorded. The replay will be available until that Sunday, which is October 30th. We're doing a bonus session on Tuesday, the 25th, from 8 to 9 p.m. EDT, live and recorded. It's Q&A with myself and Nancy for 60 minutes. So if you want to learn how to create consistent content for social media, including LinkedIn, just drop an I do below and I'll send you that registration link. Also, I would love to hear from all those that are on here live and on the replay. What was your biggest takeaway from today's training? I hope it's helped. Remember, show up as yourself, show up genuinely, show up authentically, and be realistic with everything that needs to be done on LinkedIn. Quality over quantity will win every single time. So everyone, love and gratitude to each and every one of you. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye, everyone.